the #1 long-form writer that helps SEOs outrank competition at the click of a button using real-time research and NLP. Start ranking content today with content@scale.ai.
Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
Hello Brighton, how are we all doing? Okay, I was expecting less energy. I was expecting most of you to be a little bit hungover, so we're pretty good there. Before I start, I actually have a little favor to ask. I have an 80-year-old grandma who, even after working in SEO for nearly 9 years, has literally zero idea what I do. So before we start, I'm just going to take a little selfie, if we're all right with that. I'm going to try and get as many people in this crowd in as possible. I want... Everybody can get in. Everybody can get in. There's plenty of seats. Big cheer. Perfect. Right, now we'll get on with the talk. So, as I've just mentioned, my name's Ryan. I'm the marketing lead at SEO Testing. It's my 9th year working in digital marketing roles. I've spent time agency, in-house, a little bit of freelance. Today we're just going to cover sort of the... Have I gone past it? Nope, we're all good. Yeah, in terms of mastering your mental health in an always-on world, we're going to cover kind of the causes that I think, what employees can do, what employers can do, and we'll finish off with just some final thoughts at the end. A little bit of a disclaimer first off, I am not a mental health professional, I'm not mental health trained in any way. I'm just a person who's struggled with burnout a few times, I struggle with anxiety as well, hence why doing this is a fucking big deal for me. But this is just what I do to manage mine, and it's what I think my employers can do as well. And I want to start off with a little bit of a story. So this is a text that my forever fictional friend, Jamie, sent. He is real, but his name isn't Jamie. Deliberately not sleeping because I can't stand the thought of going back to work tomorrow. Fuck my life. Weekend isn't long enough, man. And I said, tell me about it. Need sleep, I know, but I also don't want to go to sleep. Raise a few important questions for me. Why on earth was my phone battery allowed to get down to 9%? Why was I awake at 2:34 in the morning? And how many people are actually going through this at the same time as me and my friend Jamie? As it turns out, quite a lot of us. 80% of all professionals say they experience the Sunday scaries on some sort of occasion. Hands up if you're millennial, Gen Z. I'm expecting most hands to be up. Yeah. So over 90% of us experience the Sunday scaries on a regular basis. But another question is it a symptom of a bigger problem? And for me and many others, it is. Like I say, I suffer with anxiety. 61% of employees said they left a job or planned to leave a job due to poor mental health in the next 12 months. Around 828,000 employees suffer from work-related stress, anxiety, depression. 17% of all employees will struggle with a diagnosed mental health condition this year. Yes, Janice, nearly 2 in 10 of us. And the cost to the workplace is huge as well. And this blew my mind when I was doing all the research for the slides as well. Poor workplace mental health costs employers around 56 billion, with a B, pounds every year. And that's a 25% increase since 2019. Nearly a third of all sick days taken in the UK are due to poor employee mental health. And the cost of staff turnover due to poor mental health has increased over 150% in the last 3 years. I can't for the life of me figure out what's happened in the past 3 years to cause that increase. Maybe you've got some ideas, but I'm none the wiser. And if you're an employer and you've got employees, you're probably looking at these costs and sweating a little bit like my friend here. So what causes these issues, especially for us as marketers? Like I say, we're always on, so what actually causes these issues? I think there's 3 big ones, especially for us. Burnout, remote work, and we can't be at an SEO conference without mentioning core updates, especially because there was a core update released yesterday. So we'll start off by talking a little bit about burnout. I'm always burned out, generally, so I know a little bit about this. Burnout's a form of exhaustion. It's caused by constantly feeling swamped, It's a result of excessive and prolonged emotional, physical, and mental stress. Burnout happens when you're overwhelmed, emotionally drained, unable to keep up with life's incessant demands. But that's like a general burnout. That's not really career related. There is another form of burnout that we need to kind of be watching out for. Career burnout. I didn't realize this existed until doing the research for these slides, but I quite like that term, so I'm going to run with it. And I also love that meme as well. So burnout in the course of employment can make one feel emotionally drained, unable to function in the context of their work and other aspects of their life, can reduce productivity, lower your motivation and cause you to feel helpless, hopeless, resentful. And there's a few different causes for this. Lack of control, schedule, assignments, work, unclear job expectations, dysfunctional workplace dynamics, work-life imbalance, and I've highlighted that one just because there's another stat that might blow your mind a little bit. 54% of all UK tech employees now work more on weekends and in the evenings than before COVID and struggle to maintain a work-life balance. So we'll talk a little bit about remote work now. I will preface this because I know my boss will watch this on video later. I'm a fully remote worker now, and as much as I enjoy it, it's not all that great. I will say there are some benefits, less time spent commuting. I don't really like driving that much, so anytime I can not spend in a car. I drove 1,000 miles this weekend, the Nürburgring. I called it just for fun, but in reality, I wanted a bit of a break and I wanted to drive fast. Yeah, less time spent commuting, greater flexibility in working hours, reduced turnover in staff, reduced need for office space. But as Rocky will say, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's a fair few drawbacks as well. Partial or complete loss of work-life balance, less human interaction, delayed response times, frequent meetings. We've all had that Zoom fatigue, whatever it's called, whatever the new buzzword is for it now. And once again, I'm going to ask you to look at a bit of data. 1 in 2 people reported increased feelings of loneliness when working from home. I did that as well. 1 in 2 people stated that working from home has worsened their mental well-being. And the next stat is kind of a little bit of, I don't know, it's a bit hard-hitting. So 1 in 4 people reported that working from home had increased their alcohol consumption. And again, I know it's mine. It's very easy to sit down and have a beer after work when you live, or when you work about 24 steps away from your kitchen. And we'll come on a little bit to core updates as well. Again, yesterday. Thanks, John. Sorry, John, I love you, really. But as marketers, we're all judged on KPIs. I'm judged on KPIs, organic clicks, impressions, on-page metrics, conversion rates, and obviously the big one being revenue and profit as well. And I am a little bit of a marketer myself. I kind of bullshit a little bit, but I am generally a marketer. And I'm judged on these metrics as well. And our site was hit by a helpful content update, and you can see we're generally hovering around anywhere from 50 to 250 clicks, depending on the day. And there's a little solid decline there. So that's naturally not very good for my mental health, especially when I'm trying to figure out a way to reverse that. And John Mueller turning around and saying, "Nah, there's nothing really you can do. Sorry, pal." So what can we as employees do to try and improve our mental health while working in an always-on industry? And one of the things I like to talk about first off is putting your own oxygen mask on first. I realize that's a little bit of a broad statement, so I'll explain a little bit. But we can't help our managers, teams, other colleagues perform to the best of their abilities if we're not performing to the best of our abilities. Humans are great at picking up the stress of others, so if we're burnt out, it's going to stretch to the wider team. Again, even if you work remotely, because everyone can tell when you can't be asked to do a fucking Zoom call at 9 a.m. in the morning. Sometimes pulling back and focusing on ourselves can help us become better employees and managers. I'm going to talk about, naturally, a little bit of work-life balance as well, but I know everyone says it is absolutely crucial to have that work-life balance. I know it's very easy when your laptop's like 4 feet away from your bed to just say, "Oh, I'll just send that email," but generally, if it's outside of your working hours, just don't do it. I've made that same mistake before. I used to live in a time where I didn't have a work-life balance. I worked 80 hours a week, and yeah, it ruined me, really. So we can start by implementing a shutdown ritual at the end of each day. Anything as simple as like shutting your laptop, going for a walk, having a cup of coffee. I don't know why having a cup of coffee at 5 p.m. I've had 4 Red Bulls today, and it's ruined me. And for crying out loud, take your lunch break. You're entitled to use it, but it's not just a benefit. It's an actual legal requirement. So take your lunch break. Don't feel guilty about sending that email and saying, look, I'm on my lunch break. Same goes for your holidays too. I'm going to ask Charlie to put his hands up. Where's Charlie? Right at the back. How many days of annual leave do you have left this year? It's September, Charlie. Come on. Take those holidays. Sorry, Charlie. I love you, really. And we can find something outside of work to engage in as well. Having something to look forward to makes life so much easier to live. I'm a big football fan. Unfortunately, I'm a Derby County fan. If there's any Forest fans in the room, sorry. So I love watching football. I love going to games, weeknights, weekends. It's an hour and a half with me and my friend to just forget about life and watch Derby lose 3-0 to Peterborough, or whatever it is. I also like playing football as well. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at it. But again, I spend 2 hours a week playing football with my friends, and it's 2 hours where I don't think of anything other than football and trying to win a game. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen very often. What about employers as well? What can employers do to help support mental health? And yes, that really is how it feels when you have a boss that cares about your mental health. I'm going to start by saying be a leader, not a boss. Actually lead by example. Remember what I just told Charlie, and I mocked Charlie for it earlier. Remember what I said about taking holidays? That applies to you too. Please don't be like Squidward in this little scenario, watching your employees fuck off to Zante or do whatever it is, and you're sat there trying to manage emails. But it's not just about what you can do as an individual. It's about what your company does for you as well. And I'm not just going to kind of give you some vague tips. I am actually going to tell you what you can do. You can provide appropriate training, on-the-job support, and mentoring schemes for your staff. If you don't already have one, you should create a mental health policy that you and your employees should follow. Can create a culture of, this is probably the biggest one, create a culture of support and understanding around mental health issues. We go back to those stats earlier. There's so many of us that have, whether it's diagnosed or undiagnosed mental health conditions. We need to start creating a culture of acceptance because it's a normal thing. Naturally, I want to mention links in a presentation, of course. I say, I'm not just going to tell you what you need to do, I'm going to give you some helpful links as well. Barnsley Borough Council have a great mental health policy. Mind have some great employee and employer mental health training. Headspace, it's like, what is it, £4.17 a month. You could pay for that for your staff as an idea. And yes, when you actually start doing stuff to help your employees manage your mental health, life gets just that little bit better. It's not just about the little things, but the little things go quite a long way. This is just an example from my boss. With the Lionesses reaching the World Cup final, we got given a free half day if we wanted to take it, just to watch the final. I then spent the next afternoon and next probably 2 weeks utterly depressed because I am a big football fan and that was a horrible match for me to watch. But the chances that I got the chance to watch the match as well. I am running a bit ahead of time, but it's fine. We'll run with it. It means we've got more time for Q&A or whatever. Mental health at work is in focus more than it ever has been, which is an incredibly good thing. Like I say, it's a normal thing. Most people will suffer with it at some stage. And now that remote work is the norm for a lot of people, we need to start taking mental health at work more seriously. And it can be quite easy to, I suppose, ignore employees if they live 100 miles away from you or whatever it is. But send that meeting invite, have a chat with them. It's all well and good. And if left to fester, burnout can spread from one team member to another, to the rest of the team. No one wants that. But there is a few more Taking your lunch break, taking your holidays, and not working after 5 p.m. should be the bare minimum, really, in my opinion anyway, not just the norm. Don't feel guilty about sending those emails to clients saying, look, it's 7 o'clock at night, fuck off. Maybe don't say fuck off to your employees and to your clients, but I'm not taking any credit or blame or whatever. There are plenty of resources out there for employers who want to help staff better manage their mental health, and if you are a manager, set the example by actually doing these things yourself. Don't just tell them to do it, actually do it yourself. Take a holiday, stop reading emails after 6 o'clock, enjoy some time with your family. And I want to leave you with one final quick point. You can still be a great SEO, digital marketer, business owner, whatever it is, without spending all of your time at work and burning yourself out. It's the case for me. I joined SEO testing in April, and we've had some pretty tremendous traffic growth, and I take annual leave. I don't generally work after 5 p.m. I take an hour lunch break every day. I go for a walk. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb at all times of the day, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. You should try it. Charlie does, and that's for some reason why he still hasn't taken 13 days of annual leave at nearly the end of September. Do better, Charlie. Sorry. If you want to connect with me, I'm always happy to chat SEO testing, mental health. I'll chat about anything really, unless you're going to mock me for being a Derby County fan. So you can find me on Twitter or X or whatever it's going to be called 3 weeks from next Tuesday. You can catch me on LinkedIn, obviously SEOtesting.com if you're interested. I will share the slides on Twitter and LinkedIn as well, but the link is there to the slides as well. And the only thing that's left for me to say now is thank you. You sat and listened and... Yeah.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.